Hello everyone, today we will discuss about Selenium 4 Relative Locators. Selenium 4 introduces Relative Locator which were earlier called Friendly Locators. This functionality brings a new way to locate elements to help you find the elements that are nearby other elements. Relative locators are beneficial for unstable application, elements with dynamic values, and elements without unique attribute values. To achieve this, Selenium uses the JavaScript get bounding client rect method in background, which returns a DOM object providing information about the size of an element and its position relative to the viewport. These functions return properties of an element like left, right, top, and bottom. Here are 5 locators introduced in Selenium 4: above, below, near, left of, and right of. We will discuss one example of each locator. For demo, you can visit autoprect selenium /form2. This form. Now consider you want to find the pin code which is above course. So for that, first inspect course, select hash ID, and using this fixed locator we want to find the pin code which is an input. So go to your Selenium code, visit form2 using the get method, and then find course element first by .css selector, select hash course. Now we want to find the pin code, web element pin code. So here use driver.find element, and inside find element, instead of using by, type with. We use with, which is a static method to indicate start of relative locator. So for that we have to first import this with. Since it's a static method, we can either use class name with it. Class is relative locator and then method name, and you can import this class relative locator. Or if you do not want to use class name, you can do the static import. After deleting this relative locator, use static word here, and inside relative locator import static method with. Now inside with, give locator value of the element you want to find. So by tag name. So our pin code was input, so we want to find the input which is above the course. I know syntax is little typical. So with method, inside with locator of the element you want to find, then your fixed element locator. So find an input box which is above course, and after finding the element, send some keys. Let's see if it is working. Run. So you can see we are on form 2 and value for pin code is entered. Now let's repeat this exercise for below method. This time we will locate email ID which is below course, which is again an input, and consider we don't have any name or ID which are helpful to easily locate this email ID. Now go to your code. We already have locator for course. Now we have to find email ID. So again, driver.find element with, and inside with locator for element we want to find. So we have tag name right now, input, this time we want to find an input which is below another element named course. Now email ID dot send keys hello@example.com. So find an input which is below course element. Execute. You can see we got the input hello@example.com. Next, consider you want to fill in this name text box which is nearby name label. So we can use near method here. Near finds an element or elements located near a fixed element. It is to locate an element at most 50 pixels away from a specified element. You can give the distance of your choice in an overloaded method. So for name we have a label for attribute with name. So label attribute for name. This is the CSS selector. Copy it. We have locator for name label, driver.find element, by.css selector. This. Now we want to find the neighbor element of name label which is name text box. So web element name txt, again driver.find element with, again that is an input box, but you can always give any other locator here. Then we want to find the near. You can see we can use the overloaded method and give our own distance in near. Then inside near give locator for name label. So now I want to find the input box which is near to this element and send some value name txt dot send keys Tarun. Execute. You can see value entered for name. Similarly you can do for father name and address also. Locator for father name label is this, father underscore name, and for address label we have address value for attribute. Copy this. father name label, father name txt, and here cut this and paste it inside for, and here cut this and paste it inside this, and address label, address txt, and send keys to address. So using the near method, we are sending values to 3 input box which are near name, father name, and address label. Execute. You can see value entered for name, father name, and address using near method. Now we are left with two methods, leftof and rightof. So this reset all is on left side of submit form, and this submit form button is on right side of reset all. Inspect and look for elements reset all. Here ID is reset, web element, reset button, driver.find element, by dot your locator, which is input hash reset. Now we want to find the submit button, which is again input. Even this reset is also input. Now we want to find the button which is right of reset button. So to right of, okay, so we forget to use with here. To right of reset button. Now click on this submit button. Comment this name, father name, address, which are required field. So once you will click on submit, it will ask you to enter name value. Execute. So you can see, please fill in this field. That means it clicked on submit button. Now let's find reset all button, which is left of submit button. ID for submit button input is submit. So web element, comment this web element, submit button, driver dot find element, by dot css selector, input hash submit, locator for your submit button. Now we want to find the reset all button, driver dot find element with, again we have input element for reset all button, and we don't know if there is any other ID name or anything else exists. And what we know that this reset all button is on to the left of submit button. So this reset will clear all the value after click which we have entered, like name, email ID, father name, address, pin code, email ID. Reset all button dot click. Add some weight so that we can see values are entered and cleared by reset all button, and comment this submit button Execute. So we are on the form. Name, father name, address, pin code, email ID entered. And now it clicked on reset all button and all value cleared from the form. Now that's all about 5 locators. You can try their variations using their overloaded method. And one more thing, you can also use combination of these techniques, like you can use below and to write off together if you are not able to find the element by using a single locator. Thank you for watching this video.